Would you like to hold the big box, or would you like to hold the small one? Because I don't want to put the burden on you since you're a woman, but I wouldn't want to give you this expecting that you have less strength than men. See, you don't know what to do. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
I just carried my bike up the stairs. I think I can hold the big box.
It's probably not there anymore. I'm just
Your brother tied it with electrical wire.
Hey, you did?
So we're all good.
This is the neighborhood we live in.
Yep.
All right.
Hi, I'm Felicia.
And I am Giancarlo.
And this is our review of...
Saltlands and the expansion.
Survival was not enough.
You cut me off.
Sorry.
That's fine. Saltlands and Saltlands, the Lost in the Desert expansion.
Nice.
Now you can resume.
Nice. So this is already 2 hours long, it says.
Yeah, but it's really not, though.
Okay. And now if we add this, how much are we adding?
No, this just adds different characters, so you just have to choose.
Whoops.
Yeah, I put it upside down.
So you can add more people?
No, you have different choice of characters. It's already a 1 to 6 players as is, and this just gives you more options.
Like he's assuming I don't have more than 6 people I could play with.
No, I'm assuming you'd play this one person because you're a loner. You have no friends. Don't be salty. Saltlands, it's perfect actually.
Saltlands.
In this 1 to 6 player futuristic post-apocalyptic world, players take on the role of survivors trying to escape the wasteland. They'll need to find the appropriate equipment, discover rumors, and the final actual exit, all while fighting and fleeing from raiders and marauders using gas-guzzling vehicles from the old world. Saltlands offers many game modes. This setup here is for 3 players classic mode. As well, this map here is the small version used for 3 players or less. The starting tile will be placed with 2 more random starting tiles on top of it. These as well will be revealed, making sure north is always aligned. 5 more non-starting tiles are placed, but these face down. The win token will be placed as such next to the starting tile. Tokens are separated by map size, returning non-used ones into the box. Starting tokens are randomly placed on wrecks on the starting tiles and turn face up. The blue and green rumor tokens will be on each topmost starting tiles. The rumor deck will contain 4 random cards. Next to these you'll have the 2 weather cards revealed as such, with the shuffled deck besides it. Vehicles used for 3 players are the Speedster, Pickup, and Truck. You'll place their cards face up along with the 6 miniatures of each type to the side. You'll also place 1 of each on this spot, this one, and this one on the starting tile. You'll randomly draw a 6 damage card for each type, place a 5 on top on each, and keep going until all stacks have the 1 on top. You'll shuffle the Mirage deck and Raider deck separately. The supply deck will be placed face up. Each player will choose a character and get their play mat as well as their standee. The back of each character mat will have their starting equipment. Get them from the face up supply deck. Now before placing them and starting the game, now would be a good opportunity for Felicia to explain the types of cards.
Cards with a blue or black header are cargo cards. These can never be held in a player's hand and must always be placed on the player mat or discarded. There's room for only 1 vehicle. You'll all start with a land sail, but can upgrade to motorized vehicles later on. The blue headers will be crew or items. You'll place your starting character here with his ability face up. Notice placing characters or crew will lower your hand size. This will be the total of all numbers on the upper right corner of your cargo. Any other card without a header are supply cards. Note that anytime you discard any of these cards, they go into 1 discard pile only. Now the starting player will place his pawn on one of these 3 starting spaces and play will continue clockwise. On the active player's turn, he can do multiple actions from a list in any order except the move action, which is restricted to once per turn. To move with the land sail, you'll need to look at the weather cards. The total of numbers showing will tell you how strong the wind is and how many steps it gives you. Next, each direction might move you 2 or 1 spaces per step based on the wind's direction. Notice you can never move downwind. You may move through occupied spaces but may never end on one. Eventually, you might want to get motorized vehicles. These will simply move at their move value. All vehicles will have terrain you need to consider. Some may not move over certain types. These types are saltlands, dunes, or mountains.
To get motorized vehicles, you'll have to forcibly take them from raiders, which brings us to another action, using items and/or character abilities. Some items will have to be equipped by a crew, denoted by this symbol, while others just need to be discarded. The ones equipped will have to have a refreshed crew to use. To do the effect, simply turn sideways the crew along with the item. Note that items on your playmat still count towards your hand limit. These need to be respected before you move or at the end of your turn, discarding the excess. Some items might refresh your crew by discarding it, like a water skin or gallon. Weapons will either do normal or armor-piercing damage. To kill the raiders and possibly take their vehicles, you'll need to be adjacent to a raider and kill the vehicle's crews. Should they have armor, you'll need to do extra damage with one blow, as they'll negate 1 damage per armor, unless that damage is armor-piercing. If you kill one crew but not all, switch the mini upside down to denote it. If you kill all crews, you'll gain a reward, usually raider loot, and steal their vehicle for your own. Another action you can do is collect a token from an adjacent hex. To do so, exhaust the crew and discard the token, gaining the rewards, usually drawing 3 cards, gaining the victory supply, tools, compass, or seeds, or gaining a crew which comes refreshed for you to use right away. Should you collect a rumor token, you'll draw from the rumor deck.
The player who drew this will select the top or bottom half of the card and move the rumor pawns in the chosen directions. Undiscovered tiles will now become explored, and besides using binoculars, these are the only way for tiles to become explored, and now being accessible to players. When explored, place tokens face up on the Rex. Getting back to rumor cards only when the last card is drawn will the rumor pawns remain in place, and only then can players make their way there to try and win the game. Lastly, as an action, players can trade item cards. To do so, they need to be adjacent and trade items. In this mode, semi-cooperation might be required to win. At the end of a player's turn, he'll activate one raider that hasn't been activated this round.
They'll turn over the damage card of a raider that hasn't activated this round and follow the instructions. All raiders of the chosen type will move to the closest player pawn, remembering terrain limitation. If adjacent next to a player and they have an attack icon, they'll do that much damage. That player will need to have armor, discard a heal, or lose a crew. If they cannot, they die. If playing on easy, they'll come back next turn and follow some steps which include discarding items, drawing new cards, etc. On medium difficulty, they'll revive once per game but lose character ability and cannot die any longer. And at hard level, they are simply eliminated. The wastelands are unforgiving. When all those type of raiders have activated, we'll spawn new ones on A, B, C spawn points on easy, include M for medium and H for hard. If at the end of a player's turn he cannot activate any raiders because they all have activated this round, we go to the weather phase. Here, simply slide the top card atop the old one and reveal the new one slightly below the older one. Change the weather tile accordingly, if at all. Should a sandstorm appear, the winds will blow harder for your land sail, but every time you move to another tile, you'll have to discard a cargo or hand card.
When the final rumor card is drawn and the rumor pawns have moved, players can attempt for victory by escaping the wasteland. To do so, they'll need to move to the tile that has a rumor pawn, provide 3 identical victory items as that rumor, as well as 1 more victory item of any type equal to the amount of character pawn on that tile. Also, that tile needs to be cleared of any raiders. If they have the required amount totaled between all players on that tile, that group leaves the wastelands and is victorious. If players cannot leave the wastelands before the end of the 6th round, they all lose.
Saltlands definitely captures the post-apocalyptic Mad Max-esque theme extremely well, down to the fact that not working together can be detrimental. But the many modes also ensures a survival of the fittest aspect where you'll have to screw over your opponents to steal their stuff and escape the wasteland. So another pro point for player interaction. As you can see for yourself, the artwork is superb and stunning, as well as good quality components. Love the win mechanic of the game and disagree with many people that you'll chuck your land sail first chance you get. Sure, motorized vehicles might grant you armor, but they'll move a lot slower. And with the wind just right, you can really zoom across the map. Board manipulation is both a pro and a con point in my opinion. I like the idea to end your move on a spawn point and steer raiders in such a way that they might be stuck depending on terrain, as they'll only move towards the closest target and never away from it, but it lessens the AI a little in my opinion. That said, the game does require you to use your smarts, as 6 rounds come by pretty fast, so you better have a plan. Scaling is done extremely well, but at higher numbers I find the game does shine more, but does get a lot longer as well, so I half point only. The one department that incurs another con though is the learning curve. And the rulebook is somewhat a little hard to read in terms of remembering little details that do affect the game tremendously. Still, I was very much impressed with Saltlands and give it a score of 7.5 Raiders out of 10. Subscribe now to our channel to stay in the loop. If you like our work, help us continue by sharing the channel to your gaming group. Thanks for watching and happy gaming.